I thought fish swimming in the streets on a sunny day in Miami, Florida. Well, scientists are now saying that the coral reef, the Great Reef in Australia, is showing significant signs of making a comeback. It's coming back to life.
Can't be.
How can it be? Because we've been told all of these calamities are coming, and there's just nothing we can do about it except spend $90 trillion to fix it, with a lot of that money going into the pocket of Al Gore, who continues to make some of the most bizarre claims ever made.
In 2006, you made the following comments as part of your publicity for the movie. You said, unless we took, quote, drastic measures, the world would reach a point of no return within 10 years, and you called it a true planetary emergency. We're 11 years later.
No.
Weren't you wrong?
That's great. And of course, he's not going to say, well, yes, you're absolutely right, Mr. Wallace. I was wrong. Because that hurts his pocketbook. He's not going to do that.
But we have seen a decline in emissions for the on a global basis. For the first time, they've stabilized and started to decline. So
okay, that's interesting because, again, they have it both ways. First, they say things are getting worse and we haven't done nearly enough to change anything. Now he's saying, okay, the changes we've made already have helped. Which is it?
some of the responses of the last 10 years have helped.
No, they haven't.
Unfortunately and regrettably, a lot of serious damage has been done. Greenland, for example, is losing 1 cubic kilometer of ice every single day.
By the way, that's in complete dispute. Complete dispute. Because while it loses ice in some areas, it gains it in other areas. And in fact, there's an overall net gain of ice in Greenland.
I went down to Miami and saw fish from the ocean.
I love this. Listen carefully to what happened to him when he went down to Miami.
Swimming in the streets on a sunny day.
I thought fish swimming in the streets on a sunny day in Miami, Florida.
The same thing was true in Honolulu just 2 days ago, just from high tides because of the sea level rise now.
Wait, no, it's
we
not
are
because of sea
going to
level
suffer some of these consequences, but we can limit and avoid the most catastrophic consequences if we accelerate the pace of change that's now beginning.
Such an incredible liar.
Wow.
Such an incredible liar. I would love, if he would come on, I would devote the entire show.
That's what I offered.
To going back and forth.
All 3 hours.
All 3 hours. Just let's go over this step by step.
Wait, was there a Creedence Clearwater Revival song back there somewhere? Like, I want to know if you've ever seen the fish swimming down the street on a sunny day. Sorry.
Then, of course, he's such a hypocrite, he sold his company, Current TV, to Al Jazeera. Al Jazeera, which is a Middle Eastern country that is based in fossil fuels. They get all of their money really from oil. So wasn't there some hypocrisy there? He tries to explain his way out of that.
Okay.
Was that always just an investment to you? Maybe I was naive. I thought it was something that you had an ideological interest in. So why did it become just an investment at the end?
Well, it didn't. But I'm proud of what my partner Joel Hyatt and I did with Current TV.
Because on some nights, this nationwide broadcast had up to 15,000 viewers.
Wow.
Which is about the same as they get on a nightly basis at 3 in the morning in Pocatello, Idaho.
We won every major award in television journalism. I'm really proud of it. As an independent network, the only independent news and information network, we found it difficult to compete in this age of conglomerates. And I'm very pleased that Al Jazeera has established itself as a really respected news-gathering network.
And yet
is that amazing? Al Jazeera has separated itself as a really respected television news network. No, they haven't. They didn't. They haven't. In fact, they're debunked now. They're out of business in America.
Even as you sold to Al Jazeera, you in the book blast other television news programs saying this: virtually every news and political commentary program on television is sponsored in part by oil, coal, and gas companies, not just during campaign seasons.
This is actually a pretty good interview.
Yeah.
by Matt Lauer. I'd forgotten how he kind of held his feet to the fire a little bit.
But all the time, year in and year out, with messages designed to soothe and reassure the audience that everything is fine, the global environment is not threatened. And the critics jumped. And they said, here's the guy who just sold current TV to Al Jazeera, which gets an undetermined amount of funding from the country of Qatar, which gets its money from oil reserves. Isn't there a contradiction in that?
Yes.
I certainly understand that criticism. I disagree with it.
How can you disagree with it?
Al Jazeera has obviously long since established itself as a really distinguished and effective news-gathering organization. And by the way, its
really
climate coverage has been far more extensive and of high quality than any of the networks.
But if they get funding from a country that bases its wealth on fossil fuels, and fossil fuels are the enemy you target in climate change, isn't there a bit of hypocrisy in that?
Well, I get the criticism. I just disagree with it because this network has established itself. It's objective. It's won major awards in countries around.
He's avoiding Lauer's point here. The point isn't whether they're respected. We all know they're not. And you can talk till you're blue in the face, Al, trying to make them out to be a respected news agency. They're owned by the Qatar government. They're owned by the government, which really, for the most part, is an enemy to the United States. They're not respected. They're not independent. They get all their funding and all their money from the government of Qatar, which is an oil regime. But that's not even the point. The point is, hey, didn't you sell out to oil? And he won't address that.